Howdy, 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 y'all. Teresa here, and
Mouthful Web. Mouthful Web.
Brad mouthful. It is February 20th, 2017, Monday afternoon. It is 3:35 p.m. Can we get a Monday from you?
Monday.
It's not the same as the Sunday.
No, it isn't.
But that's what you're getting, okay? Okay, let's do the weather, Heather. Let's do the weather. Let's do the weather. It is 77 out. Real feel is 80. The high will be 77. The low will be 55. So that's pretty darn perfect for us. I think it rained a little bit last night. I could hear it. It was not a real severe rainstorm. It was just a little pitter-patter, pitter-patter, pitter-patter. So, which is good. Right, hon?
Yes.
Brad worked yesterday, as you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bad day for the eating. I was very disappointed in what the scale said. I felt like I really had worked hard, even though I know in my heart I could make some changes, and I am. So all I can do is pick myself back up, dust myself off, start anew today, and that's what I've done. I did some looming. Let me show you guys. Get my headphones out of the way here. Let's see. This is the body part, which is not finished yet, of my mermaid. Ooh, there we go. This is the whole body part of what she will be. I haven't done her arms yet. And let's see. I did the tail, which is not done being sewn and modified yet. There's a whole bunch of tricks. I can't give away all my secrets. And then I'm making one of the curlicues right now. Let's see. I'm running 3 strands right now. That's why it looks like so much, because there is. But yeah, I'm making one of the curlicues for the hair. So yeah. Did that. I didn't work on any other hat, because I'm working on that, of course. And Brad was very tired last night, of course. And his back hurt. His back still really hurt today. But he couldn't sleep in this morning. Why, you may ask? Because here in the great state of Florida, Brad keeps getting picked for jury duty. So you have to call on the Sunday night before to see if you have to report. He did. And he did report this morning. But he didn't get picked, so now he won't be called anymore for a year.
Yep.
So maybe it'll be my turn, because I would love to do that. Brad's gotten to do it twice, right?
Yep.
I've never gotten to do it. Yeah. So sad. Anyway, I just got done working out. I'm very happy with myself, because when I first initially started this a few months ago with the peddler, and I'm going to show you the peddler in a minute, because I know a lot of my new subscribers and even some of my old ones may be wondering what I mean with the peddler. I could only do 2 minutes with my legs. I'm up to 15 minutes now, and that really helps. And it really helps with the fibromyalgia, for me anyway. But this is my peddler. And it's just bicycle pedals. It's got a tension thing. It does have a readout here on top. But it's just battery. And it's just all. And these are not real expensive. They're under 50. Could you take this, sweetie? You just sit back on the bed for now. They're under 50, depending on the kind you get. But make sure you get a kind that really look at how the feet on it are. Because you don't want it to be sliding all over. Especially if you're on like wood floors or tile floors. You're going to want to have a rug or something underneath, or a towel. And you also can use it to put it on a table or a chair, and use it for your arms too. So it's a good alternative, especially if you're limited on space. Or especially if maybe, you can't ride the traditional exercise bike because the seats hurt your hips and your hoo-ha and your privates. So, so yeah, I did that, and did all my exercises and all that kind of stuff. I was being cranky, and I kicked Brad out of the RV for a little bit, and I already apologized to him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I felt so overwhelmed because the dogs were all on top of me. Of course, they love me and stuff, but I wanted a little bit of space to work out, and it's really a challenge in an RV. But where there's a will, you find a way. I also did a cooking video, which will be the video right before this one. On it's not really a cooking video, just showing how the zucchini spiralizer works, the handheld one, which works similar to a pencil sharpener, and just kind of a traditional dish I make a lot here in the RV with chicken and vegetables and zucchini and stuff. So, and I'm gonna finish the mermaid today because I have to paint her eyes, and that needs to sit for 24 hours. She'll be mailed out Wednesday. Thursday at the latest. Probably Wednesday though, because you go in at 3 on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, let's see what else. We're making egg rolls tonight, and I'm just having what they call crack slaw, which is just the egg roll guts in a bowl. Because I won't be using I won't be eating the egg roll wrappers. And that'll be with cabbage, broccoli slaw. They sell it in a bag right next to the coleslaw. And it's broccoli, carrots, and red cabbage, and mushrooms, and like bell pepper, onions. I'll put some of the sugar snap peas in it. That'll be real good. Just a nice fresh mixture. And we'll use like half a pound of ground beef, half a pound of pork sausage. So, you could use whatever kind of meat you want in those. And then we'll use some of the teriyaki garlic, and ginger and other spices. And, yeah, it's real good. It's one of Brad's favorite. And, he'll eat off of that for a few days now. And the nice thing about those is then we cook them. Brush the tops with olive oil and cook them in a toaster oven. That's what it said. The egg roll.
Oh, okay.
But we traditionally just use spray pan and then cook them in an electric skillet.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they really reheat very nicely. You could also freeze them if they ever made it to the freezer. Mine never make it to the freezer. So,
No.
And Brad will cook some rice to go with his.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, that makes nice meals for him for many days. He'll be working a lot he'll be working for the next 4 days, just back to back to back to back.
Probably 6.
Probably 6. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings up the topic for today is Brad is going to talk about the stress from the workplace. Take it away, Brad.
Oh my God, the pressure.
While I rub icy hot on my knee.
Every job has its stresses. There's some jobs that have a lot more stress than other jobs. It was one of the first things I noticed when I was running the liquor store was the closer it got to the end of the school year, the more school teachers I saw coming in buying alcohol. I can imagine, that was one of the things I really liked about the liquor store is I didn't have to deal with the real young kids all the time.
Yeah.
And, some of the jobs, I know medical people, especially ER, they have they have a tremendous amount of stresses. What other jobs?
How do you handle stress?
How do I handle stress?
And not bring it home
and be a jerk toward you?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I don't do a very good job of that.
Well, but I'll call you on it.
Yes, you will.
Sisters,
Yes,
I call him on it right away.
But the biggest thing is, it's when you go to work, any kind of personal issues you have, you need to leave those personal issues out at the curb.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, sorry, I'm sucking sawdust. And
He was out playing with his wood.
yeah,
With his woody.
and when you leave work, you got to remember when you walk out that door, leave your stresses there. You know, because any kind of stuff that's going down there, it's gonna be there for you the next day you're in. You know, and that's the hardest thing is to learn how to compartmentalize things. You know, you got your work life, your personal life. You know, it's like most people I know, they have multiple personalities, you know, and not in a joking way, but, you know, people that think they know me so well from working retail, they don't know what I'm really like because the retail Brad is different than the home Brad.
Yeah.
You know, Teresa sees me.
That professional persona.
Yeah. Teresa sees me, you know, and I get weird, you know. And
We weren't going to talk about our weirdness.
oh, okay. But you know, but you got to compartmentalize and you got to separate, and you know you got to learn that when stuff comes down on top of you, just let it roll off your back. There's too many people that every little thing they take just personally.
Well, I think too you have to realize that when you come home, that most of the time, if you have a spouse or a roommate, whoever at home, they don't really understand what you've gone through at work. Unless they were actually there and witnessed it. Even if they have the similar kind of job, they're not dealing with John over here that's a complete jerk off all the time, you know, or Sally who doesn't want to do anything, or maybe Mary Jane who all she wants to do is bring her personal life in and full drama.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, you got to be willing to talk about it, and as a spouse or, you know, the one on the other side of the fence, the one that's at home, you got to be willing to really sit down and listen, because Brad can say, oh, he had a shit day at work. Well, unless he explains, I don't know really what he means. I mean, he could have meant that the customers were horrible. He could have meant that, you know, the registers went down, or that an employee was not being, you know, not working very hard or not showing up. You know, there's a whole ton of stuff, you know, or maybe corporate office was coming down on him, you know, but you got to be willing to really kind of stop everything and just listen, because they need to vent. You know, they need to vent and stuff, and then if they're still, I've been married to him for so long, and now I can tell when he needs to have some time alone, or he needs to, you know, go bang on some wood or go slam some stuff around to relieve some stress, you know, or he needs to just sit and talk about, or sometimes he needs to just put in some funny movies and just kind of tune the world out, which is one of his favorite ways to focus on something else and get rid of the stress, is to, you know.
You know, and eventually you run out of places to hide the bodies, you know. So.
Well, yeah, but that's why we moved. And see, that's why they have alligators.
Oh.
And sharks.
Yeah, because that sand dune back outside of Casper, eventually they're going to start.
Well, why you have all the buzzards around?
Good point.
That could be bad, too, because then there's a whole bunch of buzzard people start looking to see what they're eating on. We're just kidding on that, but, you know, and in turn, I want to say, as primarily basically a housewife and a stay-at-home mother, you have to, your husband doesn't know what you went through at home, so to get super angry because you don't feel like they're listening to you, you both have to sit down and make time for each other, because, you know, your husband or your wife had no idea, or your roommate had no idea what you went through at home either. They have no idea that the kids have been just holy terrors all day long, and you're beginning to understand why some mothers eat their young, and, you know, in some other species, and, you know, you know.
Well, and I always try to make sure and ask you how your day went.
Yeah, he always
You know,
does.
because I know in the past I've been bad about so wrapped up in whatever little issues I have.
So
You
it's
know,
hard though. I mean, if you're the one staying at home, unless you have real small children, you can kind of take a step back and do a timeout for yourself. Whether or not, like when my children were real young and stuff, even if I had to like count to 10 and walk away, if you had, a screaming baby, maybe you needed to just count to 10, before you had to handle the situation. But it's hard when I forgot where I'm going with it.
when you're home alone, when you're the stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, you can kind of, if you're having a real crap day and the kids are misbehaving, you have a choice depending on their age that you can put in a movie y'all like and diffuse the situation. Your husband or your wife doesn't have that may not have that luxury. They can't just stop everything in the workplace and put in a movie that everybody might like and hand everybody popcorn and put a little something in their drinks.
It's not a bad idea.
Now we're going to have a timeout, guys. Let's all sit down. Sit down on your little pillow there. Keep your hand to yourself. Yes. We'll pass out the popcorn on the little napkins like they did in school. And remember those days?
No, but
Really?
I went to school before there was popcorn.
Oh, probably, yeah. Probably. Anyway. I don't know if we made any sense. We probably didn't.
That's okay.
Just listen to each other.
Yeah.
You may think you don't have time, but when you're talking to an adult, usually in 5 minutes they can get across what it would take maybe a child a half hour to an hour. So give them that 5 minutes,
Yeah. Well,
but don't time it because they really seem to be offended. Or if you're going to time it, just don't show them.
Yes. Okay. But you've helped me so much by just listening.
Well, you gotta have somebody listen. You gotta when you feel like the world's against you, gotta have somebody in your corner.
Because there's been times where, I'd come home and wanted to go postal on people I work with, and you pointed out that that's not a good idea.
But a few times he's called me on a break or something and said, I really need to vent for a minute, and I'm like, go ahead, and,
Yeah.
Where he'll come home and, he just needs to vent, or, or a lot of times he won't say anything because he wants to make sure that, that maybe I'm doing okay. Mm-hmm. And I used to be really, really sick, years ago. Pretty sick. A lot of the time. So that was his first concern, but I can always tell, with him if he's being quiet or if he'll get real sarcastic to the point where it's almost hurting my feelings and I know that there's something wrong, something bugging him, So then it's like, come on now, out with it. And,
Usually that takes care of it.
Yeah, well.
But
anyway, that's what we got going on today. Brad is working on a project where he's cutting wood and then he's going to transfer the pictures and it's this whole process. But I'm anxious. I think it'll turn out pretty cool. And I'm going to finish the mermaid and all that other stuff. Right, hon?
Right, baby.
And we love you guys and we do cherish your friendship so much. And I think you guys are awesome. And I will talk to you tomorrow, but Brad will not because Brad will be at work.
No.
Yeah. Say bye, Brad.
Bye, Brad.
Bye, guys.